Okay, so I'm trying out a new lapel mic, and I think it's really good to get up close and personal like this. I'm speaking to you. Yes, you. I don't know if it's going to focus this close, but I can't focus this close. You're just a blur to me. Right now I'm feeling quite angry, and so if I seem angry, it's probably because I feel angry. And I want to continue on shame, talking about shame. Before I give you ways to dispel shame, I'm going to talk more about shame. So I've felt ashamed of my anger in my life before, and I'm learning to not be ashamed of my anger. Anger is designed to protect. But the thing is that when we're ashamed of things which are functional, which are useful, like anger, they come out sideways. They're passive aggressive, they're destructive, they're all these things which are not the pure expression of anger. Anger isn't supposed to protect. And I grew up in an environment where anger was used to harm and not to protect as well. But also my own anger was shamed a lot in different ways. There are a lot of things that I've been ashamed of in my past, and I'm less ashamed of now. But I can still feel the shame a little bit, perhaps. One of them is, I just want to list out some things that I've been ashamed of. One of the things I've been ashamed of is my sexuality. I've been ashamed of being attracted, being turned on. I've been ashamed of my power as a man. I've been ashamed of being a man, and actually just being strong. And I've been scared of being strong, and scared that I might hurt people because I'm strong. And that's partly because of modeling as well. I've been ashamed of my essential self, the part of me that has essential value. And so then I've tried to strive to be successful, and some people would think that I have been successful, but then I failed as well, and I felt ashamed of failing. I felt ashamed of being demoted, or I feel ashamed of not being. See, I'm ashamed of that, and I'm trying to avoid that. And I can give you a long story of what happened and why I was, quote, demoted, and I can say, oh yeah, it was I voluntarily demoted myself. But I feel ashamed of that. I feel ashamed that I rose up in my career and then I couldn't handle it because of stuff that was going on in my personal life. But I feel ashamed of being divorced, of my marriage ending. I don't think that it's necessarily a failure. Well, I don't think any relationship is a failure. I think that relationships just end. I feel ashamed of my body and the way that I walk and stand to some degree. I feel ashamed of my voice sometimes, to some degree. Actually, when I listen to this recording, I'll feel a little bit of shame of my voice. I feel ashamed that I haven't finished my PhD, even though I've been working on it for 8 years, and it's partly because I haven't really been working on it a lot of the time. I've been doing other things, but I feel really ashamed of that, and it makes it hard for me to work on it because I have to face the shame. I have to face the feelings. I feel ashamed of my app business failing. I feel ashamed of all the times that I continued in relationships longer than I should have, that I couldn't quit. Oh, and I want to send a message actually to people who feel like shame is somehow justified. So at the time, we're just doing the best we could. We're always doing the best we can, right? And at the time, we did the best we could, and things happened, and then we carry that with us, feeling ashamed of it, of something that happened in the past. But we were just doing the best we could at that time. And so what else could we have done? If we could have done something different, we would have done something different. John Bradshaw, the 12-step recovery guy, who's big in the adult children of alcoholics, ACA movement, talks about healthy shame, unhealthy shame, and healthy shame. I don't know if this is something to do with Alcoholics Anonymous or something that alcoholics deal with or something, but in my world, the way that shame shows up for me, there isn't really any healthy shame. It's not like, oh, it's healthy. It's not like, the reason why I don't walk around naked is not because I have healthy shame about my body, like, oh, I don't want to show people, and that's healthy. The reason I don't walk around naked is because it's illegal and because it's cold, you know, off. And then also because I'm not sure if people want to see my private parts. But it's not because of shame. And I used to be more ashamed of my body. I used to be more concerned about people seeing me naked, but I still have elements of shame around my body. Quite a lot, actually, but it doesn't seem like shame is actually ever really healthy. It's a way, it's kind of connected. It's a way that the past is still living in us, which is, I'm doing the best I can right now, feeling ashamed. And also maybe there's an opportunity to discover more of the truth about the present moment. Maybe I can discover more about the truth about what's actually happening right now, and who I am and what I am, who I am and what I am right now, perhaps. That doesn't really have anything to do with shame, although it might be wrapped up in a ball of shame. And feeling like I failed as a father. Not being able to sort of do what is supposed to be perfectly right, which is impossible. And I bent over backwards, and this is my story, trying to justify, right? I bent over backwards trying to keep my family together and be a good father. And fact of the matter is, I'm just who I am, and I'm what I am. And like, yeah, I feel ashamed. I feel really ashamed and embarrassed and ashamed of my life and what I have and haven't achieved in my life. And yet at the same time, I'm here right now, and I'm all of this right now. And what is all of this? It's this, right? And I'm looking at you now with these eyes, and this is all it is. It's like this idea that somehow I'm supposed to be more than this right now, and that you're supposed to be more than this right now. And then that's not true. It's just this, and it is enough for right now. And then in the next minute or 2 minutes, it's going to be just enough then. And like, we'll keep forgetting, and we'll keep making mistakes, and then we just keep on moving forward. And I'm looking forward to sharing the next step in the shame examination process with you. Stay tuned. Comments below, liking, subscribing, following, whatever you want to do. And I'll be just here doing this. You can be here if you want to.